right, guys. Well, before I get there, well, hey, Elena, how's it going? I guess my special guest is on the screen. So I don't have to give an introduction. I'm sure I mean, at least 99% of you know Elena Cardone. She is an absolute rock star, not just as a real estate investor, but all the way around. Real estate investor, entrepreneur, wife, mother. I follow her social media, and every day she's out there trying to be better, better, and better. And most people might wonder, well, why do you want to get better when you have so much? Well, never would have got that much without trying to get better. So every single day, our number one goal is to get better than we were the day before. So Elena, we are so excited to have you on tonight. You know, we're just so many big fans of you and your family and everything you've done. So you're in Mexico right now?
Yeah, I'm in Cabo. I just finished my 10X couples retreat and we stayed over an extra few days with the family and my sister-in-law. It's just been incredible. Whales are literally jumping out of the water as we speak. It's amazing.
Awesome. I love it. So with Homeschooled, we have a big variation of students on tonight. Some of our students on tonight, they've never done one deal yet, right? And they're new to real estate. Some of our students on tonight, they've done hundreds of deals. And right now, most of our students are working on wholesaling and working on house flipping. And have you and Grant ever done wholesaling or house flipping, or has it always been multifamily investing?
It's always been multifamily investing. I mean, that's just our wheelhouse. It's what we do. It's what we know. And we just are on rinse and repeat. We want something, we're not as brave as you and some of the other investors out there. You know, y'all, that takes courage. We want something that'll just cash flow from day one. But I mean, man, when you get with people like you who really understand how to do what it is that you guys do and you do it so well, you know, you make it look easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, definitely not easy. And like, so the big reason that I teach people how to wholesale houses, and the main reason I teach people how to flip houses, so they can make money to go buy those rental properties, to go buy those apartment buildings. So really, I'm a big believer in creating active income through real estate so you can create passive income through real estate. So those are kind of the big things that we teach here. But when you think about real estate, like what are some of the amazing things that real estate's brought into your life? So I'd love to hear kind of like your journey, you know, because I've seen you guys just build over the years. And I know Grant started, you know, I think 25, 30 years ago in his 20s. He went all in and bought his first building, burned the boats, never looked back. Love the story.
Yeah, you know, it's really an asset that appreciates over time when you know what you're doing and you buy the right property in the right location, and that just, you know, it's one of those assets that we believe in. It's the one thing that saved us during 2008. It was the security of having that income producing asset. So you know, one of the three things that we know about money are, one, Grant taught me the three things, because I never went to college. Like Grant has an accounting degree. I was insecure one time and I was like, oh, I don't understand money and how this whole thing works. He's like, there's only three things you have to know: how to earn it, how to store it, and how to multiply it. And so most people know how to earn it. Most people don't know really how to store it, because they store it to put it into a bank. What does it do? It depreciates in value, inflation. Your money goes, you know, down in the bank. It's not paying you. It's just sitting. It's just, you know, so that's not the right thing. But actually to store it. So the earned income goes to stored. So earned income, we only spend earned income into either self-enhancement, like coming to a homeschooled and learning from people like you, or, you know, what do I need to communication course, whatever I need to know to provide value for the customers and the clients, right, for our business. So earned income only goes into that. It doesn't go into buying cars, planes, beautiful vacations like this. So for a decade and a little bit more, Grant, now you never saw us. First of all, there was no social media, but you wouldn't have caught us doing something like this back then either, because we never violated that policy. Earned income just went to into self-enhancement or into the business, and after that it was stored until where we went to number three, which was we took that stored income, and Grant calls it going broke, not on Ferraris, but going broke, but we took all that income and put it into number 3, which was the multifamily, the income producing asset that cash flowed from day one. From the cash flow, that's what buys the planes, the helicopters, the houses. But we wouldn't tell people to go buy homes that were in the phase that we were in back then. We never violated those principles. We only rented. We rented where we lived, and we owned what we rented out. So
Yeah.
and so you asked me how important has real estate been for us. It's the importance. It's everything. It's our lifestyle. It's what funds our lifestyle. If the cash flow gets cut out, if number 3, if the money's not multiplying, all of this comes to an end like a screeching halt, because even today we don't violate the principle. Earned income never spends on us, even to today, even in the situation where we're at, where technically we probably could. We just don't violate those principles. So
Absolutely. Like, and those are the principles we all have to stick by as real estate investors, everybody. And you know, the shiny object in the house flipping industry right now, I would call it wholesaling, which, by the way, I wholesale. Wholesaling's fantastic depending on the time of the market. But again, if you're wholesaling right now, I want you to start thinking about the mindset is once I make more money wholesaling, everybody, you need to own real estate. You've never seen someone on the cover of Money Magazine wholesaling houses, right? Wealth comes through owning soil. Wealth comes through owning tangible assets that are leverageable, rentable, depreciable. And this is where we build wealth. So for a lot of our students, they're newer. So I'm like, yeah, get out there wholesale. But once you get that money, don't go buy a car. Don't go buy a fancy house. Go buy investment properties, because those properties are going to pay you back for many, many years to come. And me, you know, I started flipping houses in 2010. By 2015, I was flipping houses close to 100 a year. I had a seminar company. I was filming the TV shows, and I had made more, like way more money than I ever thought I would in my entire life in 1 year. And I met with my CPA, and I saw how much I owed in taxes, especially here in California. Like, it was a lot. And I was complaining to my CPA. I said, what is all this? I'm finally making like wealthy people money, but how do they keep their money? Like, how can you give away half your money? And they're like, well, they don't pay taxes. I said, what are you talking about? They don't pay taxes. He says, well, they buy real estate. I said, well, I buy real estate. He goes, no, you don't. He says, you flip real estate. So then in 2015, 16, my mindset shifted from I just want to flip houses and make the quick buck to, well, I want to flip houses to make the buck so I can go buy long-term investments. And since then, since 2016, I bought over 200 houses as rentals. And then the truth is, I was buying so many houses as rentals. It's, you know, this water heater's broke, this toilet's broke, this tenant broke in, this guy got shot. It's just too much. And then the funniest thing about it is I bought a commercial building, Elena, in 2015. I paid $4.9 million for the building. I put $500,000 down with an SBA loan. So only $500,000 down. I just got a new appraisal and refinanced the property, came in at $13.5 million. So then I was like, well, wait a minute. Instead of flipping these 800 houses, you know, maybe I could have bought like 3 big deals and just held them. And by the way, everybody, this is not to get you away from flipping houses, because of what? Flipping houses is our way of making money. And then once we make that substantial money, we have money to invest in long-term assets. So that's kind of my thoughts on real estate, Elena.
yeah, and to piggyback on what you said, you refinance the property. When you refinance the property, because there wasn't a sale, you didn't pay taxes. So you got all of your money back. Now you own zero, you have zero in the property. If you got your 500,000 back, there's zero in that property that's still producing an income, a cash flow income. And now you can go and you don't have to pay taxes.
Exactly. I put $500,000 in, I got $2.5 million back, tax free. And for a lot of newer investors, if you guys are watching right now, it's like, fear is paralyzing. Fear prevents us from taking action. Fear prevents us from making decisions. So we got to eliminate the fear. And just remember the most important thing and the golden rule of real estate over time, based on the history of the world, real estate has always appreciated. So really, what is the worst thing that can happen if maybe you bought a deal and it wasn't the perfect deal? Well, maybe it's not the perfect deal today, but in 6 months or maybe 12 months or shit, even 24 months from now, it's going to be the perfect deal. And I tell you guys about my very first rental property, Elena. My very first rental property, I thought I was a genius. Houses in California were 600 grand. I was 24 years old. I bought a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom in North Carolina for 160,000. I thought there's no way I could lose money. I can't even build it. My payment was like 1,200, rented out for 1,250. 18 months later, the house I paid 164, it went down to $80,000. So I was like, and I was young. I was like, wow, this isn't going to turn out well. The rents went from 1,250 to 950. So now I'm writing a check. And at the time, Elaine, I was going to short sale. And then I said, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm going to fight my way through this. And that's what I did. And here's what happened, everybody. This is about 10 years later. That house that rented for 950 with a payment of 1,200, today the payment's still the same, but the house rents for $2,100 a month. So this house that was losing money is now bringing almost $1,000 a month in rents. And that was the worst real estate buy that I still have. The worst. So think about that.
Yeah, it's still paid off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it completely paid off.
Yeah. The thing why like it takes courage to do what you do, because you're running one door at a time. We're buying buildings at a time. So it makes it takes the fear factor a little bit more reduced.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I have a manager. I don't have 10 different managers with 10 different properties with 10 different specs. They're all like the same. So there's the wholesale of the washing machines or the manager on site. And if one person backs out, my percentage from occupancy doesn't go from 100% to 0. It goes from 100 maybe to 96% occupied or whatever. I still have room in there. So, but you know, until you can get to where you can own a 16 unit property or more, you know, what you're doing, you're still proving that over time, these assets are appreciating in value. And
Yeah.
the rents ever since World War II have always gone up, or maybe it was even World War I. I mean, I hear Grant, I overheard him saying that. And I looked at the statistics and they go up over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And believe it or not, like today, my main focus isn't even house flipping anymore. Although, of course, we're flipping houses, we're wholesaling houses. I'm filming the Flipping El Musas, like I'm doing all that, but I do a million things. But over the last couple of years, you know, like my students know, I've just fallen in love with commercial real estate. So we're buying existing multifamily, we're buying existing self-storage, we're developing multifamily, we're developing self-storage. It's just a whole different world. And, you know, I say all of this to my students because we all start somewhere.
Right.
And if you're in a position out there, you're watching right now and you want to go buy a 100-unit building one day, or you want to go flip 50 houses a year, but you don't have a dollar to your name, don't worry about it. You can make fantastic money wholesaling houses. And all it takes is hard work. So if you're willing to put in the work, you can build the capital. If you build that capital, you're going to be able to buy investments.
Yeah. I agree with you. And, you know, you were talking earlier about fear and, you know, getting over the fear. Well, one way to get over that fear is really giving yourself the education. You know, they say knowledge is power. And what if you have the wrong knowledge?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You have the wrong, yeah, and confusion leads to failure. It should be easy. It should be simple to understand. You get around the right people who have a track record like yourself, right? Tried and true, who have the stats behind what they say to steer you correctly. And man, you do your due diligence, you do your research, you know how to underwrite a deal, you've done your research, and it really does eliminate the fear. Like, where's the fear when you know you underwrote the deal well. It's a good deal. There's a lot of good deals about to hit this economy right now. So especially for all those investors out there right now that can come in with some cash, man, this is, and
Yeah.
probably in the next 6 months, it's even going to get even better.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a lot of great opportunities coming up, especially of investors that bought in late 20 and early 2021 that were buying multifamily on bridge loan debt and stuff like that. I think we're going to see some opportunities coming up.
Oh, for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know you guys are excited. So listen, I know you're in Cabo, so I won't keep you all night. Do you want to take a couple questions?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'll defer all the expertise in your field to you, but I'm happy to answer any questions that I'm qualified to answer.
Yeah, whatever you feel like. It might be, how did you get such nice hair with all the weather in Cabo? Who knows?
Where are they putting them, in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look in the chat here.
Guys, any questions for me or Elena? Mike, if you're there, maybe you can, maybe you have any for us?
Hey, Elena, it's Art. This question actually would go for both of you. You guys have both built empires with your significant others. What kind of challenges do you have when trying to work together?
We also are married and we started this business together. So sometimes, it's challenging to be married to each other and then be working with each other.
You want to go first on that one, Elena? It seems like your marriage lasted a little longer than my first one.
Yeah, so for us in the beginning of our marriage, we were vying. I was vying. I won't speak for him, but I was vying for this power position a lot. So we butt heads, and it ended up where we felt like we were creating, coming home and kind of destroying, because we weren't playing a big enough game. So the game became, well, let me see if I can outwit you or own my power or whatever. And it wasn't until the crash of 2008 when we really got a threat in the environment. And that's when I really looked at, wow, how do I, like, we have no choice now. Like, I have to either get behind him and we have to figure out how to work together in order to pull ourselves out. So at that time, the goal and the purpose became, how do we survive? Like, I don't want to lose it all. We don't want to lose it all. There was no interest in helping people or really anything other than that one little purpose. I don't want to lose it all. I don't want to, so what it forced us to do, and the policy that we have now, is we figured out who we are as a couple. Not just what I want to do on my own and what he wants to do on his own. That's important too. But all of that, we have to feed the couple's goals and where we were going together. What is the goal? How many units? 10,000 units? How many billions? How many billions of people are helped by our products and services? What is it that we want? This life, we started to think bigger than our little minds were allowing us to ever dream before. It forced us to really be able to have each other's back and go fight the enemies, the enemies, the people that don't want to see you win, that think you work too hard, even the enemies against families. We decided we wanted to be, restore the family unit on this planet. There's people who don't want that. All of those people are our enemies. It forced us to stop looking at each other as the enemy and really figure out, okay, well, if we want this life that we're living today, which did not look like what it looks like today, back when this happened in 2008, literally when we were on the verge of losing everything. I mean, like, we really, I envisioned the billion and all of this, but I didn't really think it could be for real. But that's a secret between us. But so what we did was, okay, here's the big picture that we want, and we envisioned how are we going to get there. Who does what in the relationship? Okay, you get to be the boss, because I was a boss. I didn't get married till I was 30. I moved out of New Orleans when I was a 17-year-old child, and I lived on my own. I didn't want to listen to some man tell me what to do. Like, I'm the boss. I was the boss. I had my own house and hot rods. I was blah, 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 blah. But in 2008, I was like, okay, so what are my strengths and weaknesses? Grant, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Let's not have our egos involved, because now we're a unit going for this big couple's goal together. And what are we going to do? And what is the role? What is the role that I play? What do I get to be the boss of? And what do you get to be the boss of? And then find the one you trust and build an empire. I trust you to run your department. You trust me to run mine. You get to be the boss. Like Grant and I are equal in marriage. We're not equal in certain things. I'm the boss of that, everything under the household.
That's in my house.
Not because I'm a woman, but because I'm good at that. Grant's the boss of everything in the business because he happens to be a freaking awesome businessman with a track record that was better than mine. I was an actress. I couldn't keep, I lost all my money. Like, okay, he gets to be the boss of the business. I'm the junior in that department at the boss. At the work, he's the boss. I'm the junior. So I can't act like I'm the wife that has 50% and I know as much as he does. I don't. Like, you just have to get real and honest.
Be honest.
He runs that play. So he runs that play. I run my play, and I'm so busy trying to make my areas be at 100% and super amazing. It prevents me from going over into his space and trying to be the bully and the boss of that space too, because I got my hands full trying to make sure the family's running right, the behind the scenes operations are running right. And it's really helped us. And the other thing is like, if you're working together, you got to look like this is the Super Bowl of life. Like being in Cabo doesn't even do it justice, but like this is the Super Bowl of life. I'm here with my family. This is unreal to a girl that never went to college from New Orleans. This is like mind blowing. So we're going for the Super Bowl game of life. So when we're on the field, you know, and he's barking at me, you know, and you know, I got to get a thick set of skin, you know, and be willing to, you know, when we're making the play and we're in game 3 and we want to get to game 7 and I fumbled the ball and he's yelling at me, you know, we're in whatever, I don't know all those terms, but I made a mistake. Like, I got to just suck it up, not take it personally, do better, not try to be like, yeah, but you, like really freaking own it, because everything's about where do we go together. And then later, when you have time to be like, God, I appreciate you. That was a good game. You're awesome. Fine. But there's certain moments in the play where it's going to be, get this, let's do this, like, go. Like, there's no time for like the coddling. Like, that's not the time to be like the wife hat. That's the time to be the chick with the sleeves rolled up who can take it, you know? And that's what's gotten us to where we're at now, is we're really amazing team members. We're not perfect by any means, but when we're wearing our roles properly and reminding ourselves of the big purpose and big picture and staying out of each other's way, once we've decided who does what, we've been able to really catapult ourselves into a whole nother stratosphere.
I love the analogy. I use the exact analogy all the time, you know. So I've been in real estate 20 years, TV almost 13 years. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long. And when I first started, I said, yeah, I'm in the NFL. I'm a third string kicker. But guess what? I was in the NFL, okay? I made it, right? But my goal is I want to be the Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So that's what I'm chasing every single day. And Elena, I completely agree with everything you say. And here's something, you know, for couples working together, one is identify the dream and identify the vision. And that vision, that dream, there should be alignment with you and your spouse. I feel like that's something that's fairly important. If there's not alignment, it's okay. Go prove you can do this and then come back with the results. And then you're going to create some alignment. And all decisions, they need to be made about what's best for the vision and what's best for the dream, not what's best for the individual. So when you're like, you know, working with a spouse, it's not what's good for me. It's not what's good for Heather. It's what's good for the business. That way we're always rowing in the same direction. And it's important. And here's another thing. Someone wrote about pessimist and optimist. Man, this is a tough one. Let's bring Dr. Phil on. So I'm an optimist, man. I think we're all going to win. We're all going to crush. But let me explain why. My belief comes from actually accomplishing what I said I was going to accomplish. So when I say I'm going to do something, I know I'm going to do it, because since the time I was 5 years old, every time I wanted to do something, I would do it, but it came with a lot of work, right? Pessimist, it's, you know, it's fairly difficult to work with pessimists sometimes. And I hate to say it, my mom's a pessimist. I love her to death. I do. But they can be difficult. Even to this day, my mom's like, "You sure you don't want to go back to junior college?" I'm like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" You know, like, what are you talking about? You know, so just these are some of the things you need to be aware of. And here's the most important thing. Never let anyone let you stray away from your dream. So if you have a spouse that's not on board, that's okay. So show them you're willing to study. Show them you're willing to put in the work. Show them that you can find success. And once they see you doing that, that should inspire them enough to jump on the bandwagon.
Thank you so much.
That was very powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you both.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tarek, thank you so much for all your time. I thought Mike was taking over on this. I just sent him my question, so I'm going to go through it as quick as possible. So, besides multifamilies, what did you start with? And did you ever like demo all property to build? Because I've been thinking about like office buildings and knocking them down to do like 4 or 6 units. Nothing huge like you're doing, but just like maybe different niches that you started with that worked out for you well, or ones you would stay away from?
That's probably for Elena, right?
Yes.
She's on mute.
Oh, okay. And I thought that question was for Tarek. No, we haven't done anything like that. We don't like to purchase assets that don't provide cash flow from day one. That's where I'm telling you, we don't have really the courage for that.
Okay.
I know people have done it and they've been highly successful at it. We're looking at doing our first development apartment deal. But we haven't done one, nor it's
a different business.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just wondering if there was any that you ever started with when you're trying like in different markets for. Have you had any experience at all, like with the multifamily? Have you done any kind of, everything's just individual rental units, or did you ever do anything with like shared living or a community living, anything like that? Just full multi-level cash flow right away. Okay, that's good. Thanks again for your time. I don't want to take too much.
Yeah, and there's something very special about that, actually. So with real estate investing, listen, you can build, you can develop, you can buy condos, you can buy houses, you can buy industrial, you can buy self-storage, you can buy multifamily. But here's the thing. If you try to do everything, you're never going to do anything. So the key to success in this business is to become hyper-focused on one thing that you truly, truly enjoy and love. And you throw gas on that fire until you find the success you're looking for. And once you find that success you're looking for, if you want to, you can stray to a different asset class. But what's great about what they did is they chose cash flow, they chose apartments, they stayed consistent, they stuck with it, and they built one of the biggest real estate empires in this country today.
Yeah, single owned, not being institutional. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
12,000 units now. So I mean,
that's batshit crazy. Like that's crazy. That's incredible. But if Elena and Grant tried to buy multifamily, and then they try to develop strip malls, and they try to build hotels, they would have done all of those things, but they would have probably done about a third of the real estate they've done, which would really have affected the amount of success they found.
I believe that having to learn the things that you learn and stumble across, yeah, probably would have been a diversion for us. Who knows? I don't know, because we didn't do it. So it's nor here nor there. But I will say that for us, a lot of the things that you see, like our successes that you can physically see, and for us, a lot of people obviously know the planes or the stuff around us, right? And those are trophies, and they're important because they help you to celebrate the wins along the way. But a lot, like for me, every time I look at our plane, I think, wow, not only is that a testament to all the things we did right, but it's also a testament to all the things we did right by avoiding all of the wrong turns that we could have taken. By getting involved with bad deals, bad partners, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of dangling carrots that looked good, but we just wouldn't go down that road, whether because there was red flags about the person, the partnership, or whatever, that we, in hindsight, when we saw what happened with those people or those opportunities and how bad they went and how much money they were lost and developers that went out of business and the whole thing. We're just, for me, I'm glad we just went all in on what we knew and really owned it. And,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah,
It's a smart play because you guys, during the Great Recession, what happens if you're developing all these apartments? Who's paying the rent? Nobody, okay? During the Great Recessions, you own a bunch of apartments where people live in. Are they paying the rent? Yeah. So again, real estate is a business with so many ways to make money. And it's very important you identify what gets your blood going, what excites you. And that way you can hyper focus. And Elena, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, how much time do you think you have left with us?
oh, I'm good. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
okay.
yeah.
Let's keep it going then.
Hey, what's up, Tarek? Nice
Hi.
to see you. Yeah. And Elena, it's a pleasure to meet you. My wife and I are really big fans of you and Grant, and actually we finished the 10X and it was like it was really, really inspiring, truthfully. So if any of y'all haven't read 10X, like you need to read it. Like Grant gets me, amped up.
I'm listening to it right now for the second time.
That's what's up. Yeah.
But I just want to say it's really inspiring to see a couple do all these things together because we always work together and it's really cool. It's amazing everything y'all have accomplished. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, our question is, we've we've been in this experimental phase like Tarek advises against, but we've just been trying to kind of figure out what our niche is.
Yeah.
We had cannabis businesses before and anyways, it's a long story. I won't get into that. But so we are really interested in stepping into multifamily. And what we were wondering is, are there certain characteristics that you guys look for when you're trying to purchase a building?
Or when you started out, I'm sure you're buying much bigger properties,
Yeah.
huge properties now, but
Yeah, I mean, we look at a lot of things. We look at the location. You always hear that location. We look at the location. We look at, does it cash flow? What is the loan look like? What's the cap rate? What's in the area? What's gonna be coming to the area?
Yeah, the opportunity itself, which everything Elena just said comes down to the opportunity. So whenever you're looking at any piece of real estate, if you're looking at a 4-plex, a 10-plex, what's the opportunity? Meaning, where can we add value? If it has a potential to add value to it, then that makes it a great buy, right? So, and if you can add value, you can increase rents, you can increase value. Like the last thing you would want to do is just go buy units at market value, at market rents, right? With no upside, no room to push it. So I on the smaller stuff. So if I were you and you're looking for 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 16 units, I like the value add component, one where you can create equity through construction. I like that. And then on the bigger stuff, the 200-300 stuff, I'm buying 2 Class A new constructions right now. So the value add there is they're in great markets, population's growing. So there's different levels to real estate. If you're talking about a 4-unit versus a 400 unit, that's totally different world.
I mean, I'm 10Xing it, so I'm thinking, 400 or 1,000.
You can do it.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you couldn't do it. Just be ready for a lot of work and over the next couple of years here, but you can do it. I believe you can do it.
So you guys don't buy anything distressed? Like when you say they're already cash flowing, like are they in decent shape and you guys do add value through making them nicer through the construction, or you're just waiting for the appreciation play?
Yeah, we never buy distressed assets, distressed sellers, but never distressed assets.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like we're waiting for the distressed sellers to come hit the markets, and that's another conversation for another day with all the loans that are coming due now, and things that made sense a while back don't make sense now, and there's thousands of these properties coming due. So distressed sellers is what we look for, but no, we only buy Class A properties, and we want to take, of course, the tax depreciation, and we're looking for long-term hold. we're always looking for the exit, not that we want to have an exit. Our goal is to really keep everything that we have. And the only mistake we ever made was selling stuff off. But you look at who we go against and who we're competing against, it's institutional, it's it's insurance companies. It's not,
Different world.
yeah, it's a different world. So we want to, we want to buy these assets that Blackstone is going to want to come buy back from us. So that's what we do. And like Tarek says, how can we come in minor little changes? Trash valet or put in a dog park or whatever little upgrades that you can do that make people feel good, add the little wine cellar, the little conference room, or now we can add little podcast rooms or whatever. And, just these little things that people want to come in and think they're going to use, and be able to feel like they have a community or this environment that's wow, impressive.
Yeah.
And then raise the rents a little bit. So, you raise the rents $50 times 400 times 12, and all of a sudden now your assets, it's making more money. So these institutions want to come and buy these assets because they're income producers.
Yeah.
Totally.
And this is what I say all the time, whether it's a condo, whether it's a house, whether it's a 500 unit building. There's two forms of distress. One, the property itself can be distressed, or two, the seller can be distressed. In most cases, when I'm buying properties, I'm not buying it because of the house. I'm buying it because of the seller's situation, which we talk about a lot. So for example, I'm buying a 215 unit Class A apartment building in Orlando. Well, the opportunity was the seller needed to get out of it. Not the building didn't need to get fixed up. The one I'm buying in Northwest Arkansas, 376 units. The building's beautiful, newer construction, right? But the seller needed to get out of it. So there's distress from the house and distress from the seller.
I love that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Very
so
valuable
much. Thanks for
information.
being here.
Yeah, and enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Hey, I missed a lot of the intro because I'm momming, and I'm a single mom. So the question I was asked earlier about like, how do couples stay together? Well, I didn't. I got divorced because we had different mindsets, but I'm so much happier now. So Veronica and Nick, you guys are going to be great because you're already in this together. So that's fine. But like, I'm so much happier now that I don't have to focus on that. So like, sometimes that's just now what that path is for me. And I'm like super happy with that too. I'm inspired by your story. I lived for a summer in New Orleans. I love it there. So I'm doing all of this myself, and I do a lot of things, but a lot of it comes back to mindset for me. And I feel like that's why I am where I am. Plus this program has been amazing. Like I've been in this almost 2 years. It's fantastic. But my question is, what, like you guys are so, you and Grants like provide so much inspiration for a lot of people that are looking to become successful. Who do you look to? Like, who are the people that you look to when you might need a little bit of inspiration or some, just like a reset of your own mindset?
Well, a few different people. I mean, I study a lot of people that come to our events, and that inspires me and gives us inspiration. I mean, we looked at Elon, what he's doing. It's inspiring. We study a lot of some of the Warren Buffett. I mean, he almost does everything opposite of what he says and tells us to do, but we study what the plays are, what those guys are doing. Spiritually and mindset, Grant and I both, we're Scientologists. I study a lot of what L. Ron Hubbard says. I've studied a lot of books like Fundamentals of Thought, New Slant on Life, Problems of Work. I mean, just these really amazing common sense guides that really help us apply data to life, how to overcome ups and downs in life, how to confront and shatter suppression, suppression when people actively have an interest in holding you down Sounds like maybe you came out of that kind of a relationship yourself. So, I mean, I look to, you know, and then to my church, my faith-based church, you know, I'm raised Catholic, so I draw inspiration from that as well. So, you know, I draw inspiration from the whales out in the ocean doing flips in front of me. Like, I just look for it, for what is around and pull out of pretty much whatever I can learn and absorb from my surroundings. But those are the main ones. I pull a lot of inspiration from Grant. I mean, I've been married to him for 19 years, been together with him for a little over 20 years now, and he still inspires me. I still study him. I mean, he just is a genius in what he does. So I like study him from a different angle.
Thank you.
Hello, Tarek. Hello, Lena. Hello, Jeff. Hello,
What's up, man?
everybody. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Lena, thank you so much for making the time, and we really appreciate it. I mean, kind of sharing your personal success is not, you know, not just anybody can do it. And thank you for that. It's kind of helps. I mean, me personally, just kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, that all of our hard work doesn't go to waste. And you know, there's success stories like you and Grant. I mean, it's kind of coming from where we are right now, and then looking back 20 years later, hopefully to get to a place where, you know, a place of success where you guys have made it. And so thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate it. My question for you is, did you guys, I mean, first, the size of the project that you guys were tackling, I would say maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago, was it, you know, did it change over time? And if so, what was your comfort zone when you guys started with multi-units versus now? I mean, now I know it's maybe up in the hundreds, but where did you guys start off?
We started off with a lot of B- type properties, properties that cash flowed very well, but were not sexy. And then over time, we evolved into just really getting more and more into the Class A property. And now it's just a standard. We won't touch anything else. Wait, hold on one sec.
We see him in the reflection.
Let me see if I can pull in the whale before I put him on the spot.
You guys having fun?
Go ahead.
Good.
Okay, guys, I brought the whale.
Oh, there's the whale.
I captured the whale. Eddie,
I'm actually just been laying down like a lazy bum. That's what I've been doing.
You got to do that every couple months for at least an hour, Grant.
Watching the whales.
they're
Sick,
phenomenal.
how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
We're doing good. We're doing good. Elena's been a rock star as always, sharing your guys' story, inspiring our students. And we have such great people on. And, you know, you guys have done such amazing thing out in the world. And I literally believe the two of you have changed generations. You've changed mindsets. And I really think that you guys did something special.
Thank you. Well, you guys are great role models for us. So, you know, love you guys, Tarek.
Thanks, man.
But wait, Eddie had a phenomenal question, and I just know that I'm not going to degrade myself over here, but I know you can answer the question and put it more eloquently. So Eddie, can you ask Grant your question again about when we started off with multifamily to where we are now?
Of course, of course. Well, this is probably one of the luckiest days. I mean, just getting Grant Carnier just with me while I'm asking a question. Thank you so much. That's it's an honor. So no, my question was, when you guys first started as power couple and like kind of building your empire, the size of the project that you guys started, what was your comfort zone when you guys started, and how did it, you know, kind of increase over time?
Yeah, so I did the first, my first deals were done before I met Elena, actually. And
Little puny deals.
small, tiny deals. So the first was a single family. The second, I did a single family deal. 30 days later, or 28 days later, did a second one. I did the first one with like $3,700. The second one with no money. And the third deal would be 48 units. And that was the one that got me hooked.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was it wasn't any more difficult than the other two. It's probably easier, actually. And, you know, I just had to have, I kept telling myself I couldn't do that because you got to start small, you know, you got to go, you know, you got to learn the game. And but I mean, it wasn't necessary. I didn't have to do the first two deals. I had to do them to do it. I had to do what I had to do, but you know, if I knew everything over again today, I would start with the 48 units, man, right from
From
the
the 48 units.
Yeah.
because when the rents go up $100, you know, you'd rather have the rents go up $100 on 48 units than 2
40.
units. So just scale.
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
hard. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You need some information,
Mhm.
but real estate has proven to be that thing that has made more average intelligence people not well connected, you know, like they did a whole a study on the super wealthy real estate people. They weren't well connected, didn't have a bunch of social connections, typically not a college degree, not even good in schools. And started, most of them started with very little. So
Mhm.
So I'll just say it. Eddie over here, he's a super smart CPA, newer to the business, works his butt off. He's getting deals. Eddie, you have the capability and the potential to do anything you want, my friend. So keep
Thank you, Tyler.
wholesaling, flipping, build up your capital, and then start chasing those apartments. Like I said, I love apartment investing. And the reason I flip houses and the reason I wholesale houses is to make that money so I can buy those apartments and those self-storage facilities.
No, thank you. And I do want to share, I closed my first 8 unit last week and I'm closing my second 8 unit, hopefully by the end of this month. So hopefully before the summit that we have. So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to get out of my comfort zone. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, thank
And,
you.
and Grant, you guys listen, Grant is 1,000,000% right. You know, like when I first started out, I flipped a condo for 115,000 and I was terrified, right? I worked on it. I painted the walls. I electrocuted myself. I burned my feet with acid. I got car chased in the ghetto. And you know what the truth is? I could have bought $1 million house. It would have been easier and I would have made 10 times the amount of money. So Eddie, like if you want to go for unit, like think bigger, man, 50 units, 60 unit. Like if you have the ability to raise that capital or you have your own capital, but never be scared of the project size, especially when it comes to unit, because Grant knows it better than anybody that, you know, the more units you have, the easier it is to manage.
Mhm. No, thank you. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Grant. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Elena.
yeah,
You guys are awesome. You guys are my dream power couple. My wife and I watch you guys. So just kind of, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I'm so honored right now. I don't even know what to say. My question is, I'm a closing agent and I was around during the big crash in 2008. And I just remember, you know, coming into the office and picking up the phone to start checking on fundings. And I just kept getting this number has been disconnected. This number has been disconnected. And it just was overnight. And you were talking a little bit about, you know, the crash and possibly losing it all. And my question is, I'm just wondering, what mistakes specifically can you share with us that you made during that time? You know, being new in it and being a new investor, I'm just, you know, really kind of nervous about getting into it. What mistakes can you share with us that maybe we could avoid moving forward?
Is that for me, Aaron?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, the biggest mistake I made was I didn't go buy everything in the neighborhood. So I should have bought everything. And we're going to go through a very similar cycle. It's not here quite yet, but the fear and denial is in the marketplace right now, but it will probably summer, maybe fall this year. There's a tremendous 2008 opportunity coming, particularly in the kind of housing I do and in office. I don't think it hits single family like it will apartments and retail and office. But it'll spill over because when, you know, it's a contagion, right? When it's like a flu. So when, you know, a handful of people get sick, then people start thinking they're getting sick even when they're not.
Yeah.
If you've ever been on a boat where one person got seasick, dude, the whole, like, it just like, it runs through the whole boat 5 minutes later. And this will happen in real estate. And that's when, you know, don't freak out and go try to buy assets. So number one, I didn't add, which I should have. Number two, the other mistake is, when I did add, I compromised locations in order to get cash flow. So I got very, very conservative. I was a scared buyer.
Okay.
And I had an opportunity, a number of projects that I could have bought that that would have been, the locations were so unbelievable. But because they were so ranked so high, the returns were going to be a little lower. And so I left it alone because I was scared. I wanted the extra cash flow. And I shouldn't have done that. You know, I went for a return today rather than having a super trophy and I'm not talking about the quality of the asset. I'm not talking about how good it looked. I'm talking about the location of it was just ridiculous. And when the market will do this, it'll do this, and then it'll top out. People start to get scared and they know something's changing. They'll go into denial. And then when it breaks, it just starts sliding off. And that's where you get to buy the best stuff. But it might not make as much sense at that moment. It won't, because there's going to be fear all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was the craziest thing. In 2005, everybody wanted to be an investor. In 2009, when real estate prices were 60% off in California, nobody wanted to be an investor. Like, this is the time to be the investor. So just the lessons I've learned, one, shit happens and things change, okay? Real estate goes up, real estate goes down, then it goes more up, and then it goes down, and it goes even more up, and then it goes down. So it's making sure you're not over leveraged. It's making sure you have reserves, and don't do the dumb things I did. I bought a Lamborghini and a S500 and a Bentley and all this shit because I was in my 20s.
I don't have any of those.
What's that?
I didn't have any of those.
Yeah, well, I was real young, like 20s, like 22, 23.
Oh, got it.
I was, too young. And then what happened? I was spending every dollar I made thinking, oh, this real estate business is so much fun. And then literally, people don't realize this. Real estate can change drastically overnight. Like, I'll never forget, all the signs of the market started in 2006. Inventory spiked 84% here in Southern California. At one point, at the end of 06, the inventory, in 2005, you had one home for sale, you had 10 selling. What does that mean? Demand much greater than supply, right? By the end of 2006, we had 15, 20 homes for sale, only one selling. I sold my only rental properties because my sales volume was down. March of 2007, the subprime market crashed. By the end of the year, people were throwing house keys at me, begging me to take their house. So, and here's the good thing. You're part of this community. So every single week, I'll be telling you what I think is going to happen, although I don't have a crystal ball, but I do have experience over the last 20 years. So I'll be able to share some insight.
Awesome. That was so helpful, and you guys answered that perfectly and made me feel so much better. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And I wish you could see my big smile being honored in the presence of the three of you, but my camera isn't working. Grant and Elena, I've read 10X.
You're having a bad hair day, huh?
Nah, well, probably that too, but I've listened to 10X and I just put it back at the top of my list to listen to again. So thank you for that. And
cool.
Yeah, my question actually, Tariq, you mentioned something earlier about a refinance. This is obviously on a much smaller scale, but our former primary home, we own. Yes, absolutely.
I'm listening to her the second time right now.
What speed?
I can't get rid of Grant.
What speed are you listening to it on?
super speed. That way we can keep up with each other, you know?
Okay.
You talk fast. I'm about to do a book like you did your book, and I'm thinking, man, I gotta read this whole thing. Holy crap.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to distract. Back to the question. My apologies.
No problem, no problem. I'll have to listen to it on speed then as well. So you had mentioned earlier that you had refinanced the property. So we have a property. It was our first home. We redid it before we moved out, and then so now it's an investment. We owe about 198 on it because we had refinanced many times during bad times. So we owe about 198 on it. And I got something from the mortgage company saying that, and we see what's going on, that it's valued at about 533. So my question is, it's only at a 4% right now, interest rate. What is my best way? Do I take equity out on it? We have a renter, or I want to wait till somebody else is in there it's more of a long-term and or seasonal, South Florida, PGA National.
Okay, so it sounds like this is a primary residence. You owe 200. It's worth in the fives. You had a 4% first. You don't want to refinance and go into a 6. Never going to happen. So if it's possible, if you do have equity available through the banks and the requirements, I would pull a home equity line of credit.
Okay.
But there's very strict rules with the home equity line of credit. You can't buy
It's not a
groceries.
primary.
You
It's
can't.
It's an investment right now.
Oh,
It was
okay.
my primary. Now it's an investment.
And
So-
how long has it been your investment?
Over 2 years.
Okay, I would talk to a lender and find out if there's any way to leverage that asset.
Okay.
If-
In a HELOC.
in a HELOC, because it sounds like you're trying to pull capital from it, right?
I would like to, because right now our rental income, we're getting about 1,500 a month. So do we leave it at that and take that? I have a HELOC also on my primary, in the first position. So do I take that 1,500, just pay that one down and use that money? And keep the rental as the same?
I'm sorry. I think
Why do you
not
need-
terrible
why
at
do you
asking
need- Why do
questions.
you need money?
To buy more assets,
Yeah, why don't you raise the money?
yeah, and leave everything the same.
Yeah, I mean, you got a deal that's, you're saying it's cash flowing 1,500 a month, or that's the rent?
Yeah, about 1,500 a month.
Net cash flow.
Yep.
What's the rent on it?
The last rent we have, which is coming up to an end, was at 4,000 a month,
Yeah,
and we're hoping to get 5,000 a month.
yeah, well, good luck on that. So don't be greedy. Don't be getting
Yeah,
all
I
bank
know.
card greedy. So, I would just look at, I mean, guys, raising money is not a bad solution. If you go look at the biggest lenders you go look at the biggest financial institutions in the world, they got that way by borrowing money and taking on partners. Banks have partners. Goldman Sachs has partners. JP Morgan has partners, like Warren Buffett, one of the richest people on the planet Earth, and Elon, and all of them, the whole list have partners. Elon I think he owns 10 or 11% of Tesla. I don't think anybody thinks he's a dumbass because he's got some partners.
Yeah.
So that's what I
So
would do.
just leave well enough alone.
I would go raise money.
Yeah. I actually totally agree with Grant. But for some reason, if you were unable to raise money and you also had a system for acquiring houses through homeschool at 60, 70 cents on the dollar, it might make sense to sell it at the top of the market, get as much as you can, tax deferred 1031 exchange it into new properties. And the day you buy those properties, you have built-in equity, you can pick up another 100, 200,000.
Yeah, I don't, now, this is where I would just, just to throw a little,
A wrench, are you about to
A
throw
little-
a wrench?
yeah, I mean, I've done, I don't know, probably 16 1031s. Guys, I regret everything I've ever sold. I regret selling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
Every,
1031s?
I did, I don't know, probably 16 of them, bro. I wish I would have done none of them. I was so
Yeah.
proud of them too.
Well, how long do you hold them then?
I wish I owned all that real estate today.
Wait, so now when you're buying real, did you guys do 5-year holds, 10-year holds?
Yeah, we're doing 10 years with discretion for another 10 years with like
Longer.
to refinance it and just keep it another 10 years. Like if I never sell any of this stuff or we become, the goal really now is to become a bank. So you'll see us roll out Cardone Financial here in a little bit.
Now that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be some next level stuff right there.
Yeah, because I don't trust the banks. I mean, everybody's looking at the banks right now saying, can I trust the banks? No one here should have, like, you guys all need to understand, banks, only 1% of all the deposits in America can be covered by the FDIC. 1%.
Yeah. that's
One,
terrifying.
if there's one more SVB failing, now that's not to scare anybody, because the US government will always back it up. No individual depositor in America in his history has ever lost their deposits. So you're going to be fine. They're just going to keep backing it up. But we're working on something right now where basically you guys become the bank. We all become our own bank.
Man, I like that. I've been thinking about something similar, but I'm sure you're light years ahead of me. But I was thinking about, why don't we just raise capital and we become a bank, and then we lend out money?
100%, bro. Like,
That's it. Like, pay them 4.5, lend it out at 5 or 6, whatever.
So when's the right time to ever refinance that?
That deal's not ready right now, because the financial market, you want to refinance when the debt market is easy.
Okay,
Right now, this is not an ideal time. Wait till they go print again.
okay.
If anybody here thinks that America won't print again, then you hadn't looked at the last 70 years.
I have a question for Grant. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Okay, so during the pandemic, I think they printed 40% of every dollar in circulation in the last 3 years, or some wild number, 33 trillion in savings. Now we're in $1 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot my question.
Or they're going to print again, or no?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Print
so all of a sudden, the new thing that everybody's talking about are these ERC credits, and they're giving companies like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. There's so much money going back into businesses right now. So that's like more of the whole thing we experienced a couple of years ago. So how do you think that's going to affect things?
Bro, we're going to keep printing money.
Yeah. So
Okay, they're not going to call it a print. They're going to call it something else. I mean, SVP, all the people at SVP were made whole. Like this is printing money. We're printing money, and like, it's everywhere. Like, if you guys think that we will not print again, we have $32 trillion of debt. It will be $64 trillion one day, and then it will be 100 trillion until they destroy the US dollar and we end up with a new widget to play with. But it won't be any different. You're still going to want to have assets. People still need a place to live. The hustle is always going to win out. I mean, if they take everything from me today and divvy it up amongst the world, just give me 10 months and I'm going to have all mine back and some more, because I can't let her down. So, and I can't let myself down. So guys, just, stay with great people that are growing, that are learning, and it won't matter what they do. What matters is what you do.
for everything that happens in your life, because every decision you've made in your life has led you to the life you have today.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? If you make different decisions, you can start leading a different life. And that's how I got to where I got. I was a shit show for most of my life. Okay, guys. And
I was worse than you, bro.
I don't know, Grant.
I'm Stephanie. I'm from Michigan. And, I'm kind of new I'm very familiar with Tarek and Jeff, but I'm still new to the Cardone Enterprises. So I'm starting to read your books and things. And I was just wondering.
Scary too. Don't believe everything. She's awesome. Don't believe everything you read about me on the internet, though. Okay.
I see her on LinkedIn. I see a lot of her things on LinkedIn. So I've been following you there. And the two questions I have are really, Grant, how did you start? Say, like, for example, when you started financing your real estate deals, how did you start? And the second one is, right now I'm single and dating. I don't look so hot right now, but when you guys started dating, when both of you started dating, when did you know you were meant for each other and were on the same page for your future?
Well, she's still trying to figure that out, whether I'm right for her or not, but I knew right away. Now back to the other question, okay, is the real estate. Look, I was funding it out of my main hustle. So what I would do is I'd find a piece of real estate that I loved, and I would go figure out in my daytime job how to hustle people, or my job. I was working for a guy, and what I did was, I need 80,000. So I figured out how to, like, what do I got to do for him to put 80,000 together? Right? And I'd always come up short. So then I'd call my mom and say, hey, can you lend me 20? And my, you know, like I was piecing stuff together. It's just glue. It's a puzzle. But I never over leveraged. Tarek mentioned that. Never over leverage your stuff. You have to be very disciplined. Okay. And I never compromised my location. And I bought great real estate. Like I've never missed. I've done this 35 years through a bunch of different cycles. And there's moments that are fun, and there's moments that are scary and painful. We're going through that now. But all my real estate's worked for me. I've never lost anything. So, but I'm extremely disciplined, probably too disciplined, by the way.
But here's the thing. You guys all got to remember this. Like, you know, for guys like Grant and like even me, like when we were building, we weren't, I mean, I guarantee Grant wasn't a normal human. Like I wasn't a normal human. Everybody thought I was crazy. I worked 16, 18-hour days. I made 500 phone calls. I used to knock on doors in 100-degree heat. People would bring me in and feed me. Like it's an obsession where like I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't think because all I could think about was getting a deal. All I could think about was finding success. All I could think about was moving out of that garage, right? Like it becomes an obsession, something that, like I'm telling you guys, from the second I wake up until the second I go to sleep, I'm thinking about everything in this life that I'm trying to create. And the more you think about it, the more you act on it, and the more success you're going to find. Now, we're not saying you have to go work 18 hours a day. Well, if you want to be worth 500 million, yeah, you probably got to do that. But if you want to have a beautiful life and take care of your family for generations to come, you just have to have 10% of that, because this business isn't rocket science, you guys. It's you buy it, fix it, flip it, or you buy it, you rent it, and you wait. You leverage it, you buy more, and you wait. Okay. And these are all the things we're going to teach you.
Okay, awesome. Listen, we had a question come up here in the chat for you two. What do you do when you find a property that's in a prime location, tons of value add, but won't cash flow after factoring in the financing and don't have more cash to put in the purchase price to lower it down? So what do you do? Walk away? I mean, it's got all this
I don't buy
upside.
it.
It's not a good deal.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, because that's not a good deal. How could it be a good deal if it doesn't cash flow?
All right. Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'll give you an example. I can go buy a 4-unit apartment in West Hollywood, California for $1 zillion and be negative 10 grand a month. Sure, it's a cool piece of real estate, but it's a terrible investment.
Just always comes back to the basics, right?
There's a story. Donald Trump bought the Plaza Hotel and he lost it. Now the Plaza Hotel is probably, I don't know, top 10 pieces of real estate on the entire planet. He over leveraged it. If it's priced right, it will cash flow, period. And if you have to pay it, like if you have to pay cash for it to cash flow, then the deal should be able to support debt if it's priced correctly. And if it's not, just walk away. It'll get priced right here in this next cycle. Over the next 6 to 9, 12 months, everything's going to get priced right.
Agree. I totally agree with that, Grant. And Jake wrote, what if it's negative cash flow year 1, break even year 2, positive 3? Well, that's just hoping that things improve down the line versus, okay, passing and finding a property that cash flows today. And that's where the work comes in. That's where those long days come in. It's all 90% of your time is finding deals. I don't give a shit about construction, design, escrow, none of that. 90% of your time is sales. 90% of the time is finding deals. That's all that matters. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with Tarek. I would not do that deal if it negative cash flow year 1 and break even on year 2. First of all, you don't know that it's going to break even on year 2, and break even is losing money. It's not worth the threat.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
We ought to start buying real estate together, bro. That's what we ought to do. I bet
I've been waiting for the call, buddy.
You guys in California, by the way, I think they're getting ready to finally tell the residents of California that they got to pay up those 2 months.
2 years, you mean?
No, the 2 months. There should have been. What's that deal, Tarek? In California?
Yeah, I got tenants that haven't been renting years. Yeah, no, I don't know. I actually don't know what it is. I didn't know I was getting money back. So now I'm gonna look into this.
Yeah, and did you do the ERC thing for your own business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And with the ERC, they gave me like, X amount or X amount. So I just took the lower amount just because.
Dude, we've gotten like $80 million back for some of our clients.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
incredible.
guys, listen, we have a question that came up. When did you know financially that you were ready to hire staff? What was the performance markers that indicated you could scale?
I know that. I know for me, at least, I get mine first. I was out of time, meaning my deal finding was being compromised by bullshit work I didn't want to do. So again, all I did, I'm telling you guys, all I did was prospect and talk to people. That was my number one goal. What do you think, Grant, Elena?
Well, when I changed my mind, I had to, I was brought up in a scarce situation, in an environment that breeded scarcity and saving. And then one day, a guy said to me, he's like, bro, you're not going to get wealthy saving money. And then he said, people don't cost money. And I was like, huh? I had 3 people that worked for me, and he's like, you're never going to find another Grant Cardone. I'm like, nobody works hard as I do. He's like, yeah, well, don't look for anybody that works as hard as you do. How many people you think you need to work as hard as you do? I said, I don't know, 20. He's like, well, go hire 20 people. Then you got 2 of you. I'm like, God damn, bro,
Wow.
that's sick math. And then I went and hired 100. I went and hired 200, not 20. And then I exploded. And we've probably been through 200 of those people. We've got 260 employees in Miami, another 200 in Arizona, probably 700 in the real estate. And I'll bet you we've been through in the last 2 years, 200 or 300 of those people. I don't even think about it. Like, you can't get big by yourself.
Oh, 100%. Can't get big by yourself. And my biggest mistake in business over the years is hiring the wrong people and being too weak and feeling too bad to let people go. And
Yeah.
instead of letting them go, trying to get them to improve, begging them to want more. And you can't fix somebody that doesn't want more. So now, I'm sorry, if you don't perform, you got to go.
That's right.
It's
So-
it's hard because we all have feelings. Like, I feel bad. I don't want to let people go. And that's what
I don't have any feelings. I've disconnected from my feelings.
I'm getting, no, seriously, I've gotten stronger and stronger as the years have gone on. I used to be very, it's just so everybody knows.
When I watched the number of people that watch Dr. Phil, all these shows, I'm like, dude, this feeling thing's got to be overrated. It can't be good for you because it pins too many people to a sofa. And everybody gets all connected. They start trauma bonding. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing here, man? I feel sorry for you. Oh my God, this, that, and they all get all connected. And I'm like, this can't be good. Elaine and I try to stay out of our emotions. Like,
Oh yeah. Today, no, that's why today I'm totally different. Today I'm like, hey, it's not working. You got to remember, if someone is let go, they're not let go because of me or Grant or Elena. They're let go because they weren't willing to do what they needed to do. So it shouldn't be on us.
That's right.
All right, excellent. Hey, someone's asking me, Grant, all okay? I know it's maybe off the little top, but your shoulder, you're in a sling, everything.
Oh,
What happened over there?
No, I'm trying to protect an arm. I did a little damage to, so I'm fine.
I think that came up when you two were talking about your war stories. Like, uh-oh, no.
You got a shoulder tear or a bicep?
Yeah. I'm just trying to protect it right now.
Yeah.
I just got through a bicep tear and 2 knee tears. They were killing me for years. I went and got these new injections. I forget the name. If I remember, I'll text it to you. 30 days later, pain's gone. Couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, send us the message.
All right, well, health is wealth. We're talking about wealth, and we got to take care of yourself to be around for enjoy it long term. Okay, we have another question. Let's see, I'm a single mom, and I fear that if I do anything more than one small project at a time, I'm neglecting my son. Any suggestions on partnering or delegating, or just take it slow right now?
I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I would just tell you, do big deals. Then small deals, I hope this doesn't mess up the theme here, but small
No.
deals don't support managers. That means you have to be the manager. If you're a single mom, do you really want to go pick up checks and fix stuff?
Yeah, and Grant, and let me say this really quick, because I'm a big believer on the way you run business. The way I teach students is not to go work on the houses themselves, not to walk the houses every day, to find the house, hire the best contractor with the most experience that's rehabbed 1,000 houses, let them go do their job, and you go find more deals. That's it.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. We're coming into the final stretch here. We got about 5-8 minutes left till the top of the hour. We want to respect the Cardones out there and their lovely vacation spot. So a huge, how about it? Tons of thank yous in that chat box for just their graciousness. That's so awesome. And so they were asking about what would you recommend as far as your top cities or locations in the US for some future hot markets?
I mean, I love the South. I love, Republican states are going to win. I hate to say this, don't mean to make it political, folks, but I got a buddy of mine. He's in Bakersfield, California. I told him not to buy the asset. He did anyway. He hadn't collected 9 of 18 rentals, 9 in 9 months. It's happening all over the country. Okay, these people are going crazy trying to win voters. And they're giving people permission to basically be irresponsible. They're encouraging this. Hey, don't pay your rent and it's going to be fine and you get a moratorium. Like, no, it's not fine. If you agree to pay something, pay for it. Yeah, people have a hard time, but not everyone. It should not become a way of doing business.
Right.
Many of you here that you took debt out for college. You know what? Pay it. Pay it back. You're the one that took the debt on. You're never going to get the time back. So, and unfortunately, the government now is trying to win votes by giving people relief on everything, everything from food to health to it's fine. It just breaks people. It breaks people down and it's terrible for real estate. So I avoid those places. I look for positive migration. All you got to do is look up positive migration, net migration cities and states. Look for job growth. Unemployment numbers are going to go up. They're not going down from here. They're going to be going up. So you need strong jobs. You need affordable housing to support the new jobs. And you need to see where people are leaving and where those people are going. U-Haul, look at the U-Haul trackers. Okay, it gives you a real indication of where people are moving to. So I could give you the whole list. Now, some of those cities, Scottsdale, Austin, those cities are overbuilt right now. They also, on the other side of that, they have tremendous amounts of supply coming on that's going to create other problems and opportunities. So there's more than 1 or 2 metrics. That's why it's so important for you guys to stay with Tarek and make sure he's updating you on the data. Real estate is not something you do by yourself. You're going to have lots of people around you, title people, deeds, lenders, tenants. There's partners everywhere. This is not a solopreneur, influencer, stay at home and shoot video game.
No, that's funny, Grant. I like that actually. And you brought up Austin and you brought up Nashville. I mean, we saw what those markets did the last couple of years. Those are scary markets to get in today. But if you were to ask me the best places in the country to invest 18 to 24 or 30 months from now, it's going to be Nashville and Austin, because whatever has the most new construction, whatever goes up the most gets hits the hardest and then comes back the highest. And
I agree with you, man. There's going to be, me and you could just do this all day, just talk markets. There's going to be so much carnage in Nashville. It's going to be the Airbnb thing. They're going to get their faces ripped off and literally pull the face off and put right on their ass. Okay. It's going to be too many people went for the quickie.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying, because everybody out there is Airbnb. Okay, well, guess what? Unemployment's going on. We're kind of in a recession, but it's going to get worse, right? So what happens when people stop traveling? Well, they're not going to be staying in Airbnb, so we're going to have an increased supply. So what happens when we have increased supply? Demand drops, so prices have to drop. So what happens if the prices drop and the Airbnb income can't even cover the mortgage, utilities, and HOA? Well, then you got to convert it to a regular rental. And what if that same situation's there? then we're going to start seeing distress sales.
I want to hear like mindset talk. What motivates you? What inspires you in this day? We all know your early journeys and paying your dues, but now in 2023, as we get into Q2, where's your mindset at? Or like, if you want to share,
Here's
like,
mine. Here's mine.
ah, yeah, that's a great one. I love it. The view in Cabo, it looks fantastic.
Views, man, views. I mean, you want good mental health, get a good view.
What about you, Tarek?
What's the question, Jeff?
As far as like motivation and mindset.
Oh, motivation. Oh, my motivation's simple. It's very simple. My parents immigrated to this country. I didn't grow up with much money. When I was I think I was 8 years old, it was the first time in my life I was ever in a limo. I came home to my parents. I said, why don't we have a limo? They said, we can't afford it. I said, why not? We don't have the money. I said, why don't you make more money? It doesn't work like that. So then I wanted a dirt bike. They said, I can't have a dirt bike. I said, why can't I have a dirt bike? It costs money. I said, why don't you make more money? So very early on, I said, I like things. I want things. I'm going to make money. And then I'm a very competitive guy. And for me, early on, it was about working hard to buy things, right? I wanted to, show who I was, big hotshot, real stupid, by the way. And now what I want to do is show the entire world anything's possible. I have the platform of TV where I'm in all these different countries. And 20 years from now, I hope to be on stage doing as big of things as Grant and Elena. Like, that's my goal. Like, hell, I mean, look at Grant and Elena did it like shit, and nobody would. I mean, are they a big institution? No, they had a dream. They worked their asses off. They stuck to their plan, and they accomplished the impossible. So it's about inspiring future generations. It's about changing people's lives.
I love it. All right. Well, our special guest, Elena, we say the best for last. Your turn, my friend.
Oh, the thing that inspires me now is doing pretty much piggybacking off of what the two gentlemen just said. It's about living to our fullest potential, not only for ourselves, but to be the example for all the other little me's out there, all the other little Elenas from New Orleans that never went to college and weren't supposed to make it, all the other little Grant Cardones that, went down the wrong path, come from middle-class backgrounds, and how many people now can we be open and transparent with and help fast track their way to success. So now it's about a spiritual legacy play for us. It's, it's how many people, how many other little me's out there can we help go to the top together? That's what I want now. I'm looking for my global family. I'm looking for global impact. I'm looking to see how much can I really have made a difference for the better on this planet. Like, when I'm not even supposed to even be anywhere in the realm of even attempting to think something so big or so bold. I'm supposed to be humble, et cetera, but actually having the audacity to think big enough to build an empire and help a whole lot of people along the way. That's what's motivating me now. And this second half of my life, as I'm about to hit the big 5.0 upgrade in June this year.
Elena, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. You guys are just rock stars. Always have so much fun doing these with you. And everybody, I hope you rewatch tonight's webinar over and over again. The only thing preventing you from doing whatever the hell you want to do is you. And I'm telling you that. It's you. Your entire life, everyone around you has given you the wrong information, from your parents to your teachers, to your managers, to your coworkers. They were all freaking wrong, because my whole life they told me I was wrong. And today, look where I am. No, I was right. Anything's possible. Chase your dreams, make shit happen, and ignore the haters. I believe in all of you. Tonight was fun.